Let's begin. I never expected my marriage to reach this point. I had built my life with Vanessa, believing we were unbreakable. But that night, as we sat across from each other at the dinner table, my world shattered. "I need more, Damien," Vanessa said, her voice devoid of guilt, swirling the wine in her glass. I frowned. "More? What exactly do you mean by that?" She sighed, as if my question was frustrating. "More passion, more excitement. I love you, but I need more than what our marriage has become." Something in my chest tightened. "And what does that mean for us?" Vanessa hesitated before meeting my gaze. "It means I'm seeing someone." The words sliced through me like a blade. My knuckles turned white as I gripped my fork, forcing myself to stay calm. "You're cheating on me?" She exhaled heavily, as if I was being dramatic. "Not cheating. Expanding. Broadening our marriage." A slow, cold rage seeped into my veins. "You mean betraying? You don't understand, Damien. This doesn't have to ruin us. A lot of people do this, and their marriages are stronger for it." I leaned back, a humorless chuckle escaping my lips. "Stronger? You want another man in our marriage, and you think that'll strengthen it?" She shrugged. "It keeps things fresh. I'm not leaving you. I just need variety." She was already doing it. This wasn't a request. It was an admission. I stared at her for a long moment before a slow, calculated smile spread across my face. "You know what, Vanessa?" I said, voice eerily calm. "Maybe you're right." Surprise flickered in her eyes. "Really?" "Yes," I nodded. "If this is what you want, who am I to stop you?" She smiled, relieved. She had no idea what I was about to do. I didn't argue. I didn't beg. That night, after she went to bed, I did what any man would do when his world is crumbling. I went looking for the truth. Vanessa was careless. Her phone had no passcode. It took me seconds to access her messages. And there he was, Landon. Their messages were explicit, passionate. She confided in him. She told him things she never told me. She loved him. That was the part that destroyed me. But pain quickly turned into something else. Revenge. They thought they had control. No, that belonged to me now. For the next few days, I played my role, the understanding husband. I watched Vanessa as she spent more time texting, sneaking out for girls' nights, dressing up more than she ever did for me. I let her, because I was setting her up for the fall of a lifetime. She booked a hotel under a fake name. Room 702. Perfect. Friday night arrived. I watched Vanessa apply her perfume, excitement buzzing in her eyes. "Late dinner with Laura?" I asked casually. She smiled. "Yeah, might be back late. Don't wait up." I nodded, watching her leave. The moment she was out of sight, I followed. At the hotel, I saw them. Her and Landon, laughing, touching, disappearing into their room. I clenched my fists, but I didn't act yet. No, I had something much bigger planned. 2 hours later, I knocked on room 702. Landon answered in nothing but boxers, looking annoyed. "Who the hell are?" I didn't let him finish. My fist met his jaw, sending him sprawling back. Vanessa screamed, "Damien, what are you?" I raised my phone, showing them the live feed of their betrayal. Vanessa paled. "You really thought you could keep this from me?" I said, my voice deadly calm. Landon groaned. "Look, man." I slammed my fist into him again. Vanessa sobbed. "Please, let's talk about this." I turned and walked out. This wasn't over. This was just the beginning. Vanessa didn't know it, but the moment she walked out of our home that night, her entire world was already beginning to crumble. She thought she was in control. She believed she was making her own choices. But I was pulling the strings now. After storming out of room 702, I didn't go home. I parked a block away, watching the hotel from a distance, waiting. I imagined her inside, frantically trying to calm Landon down, reassuring him that everything would be okay. But it wouldn't be okay. Not for her. Not for him. Vanessa had spent months orchestrating her secret life, carefully balancing her marriage and her affair. She believed she could have it all, her devoted husband at home, her passionate lover in the shadows. But what she failed to realize was this. When you play with fire, you don't get to choose which parts of your life burn. That night, I sent the first of many messages that would unravel her world. It was midnight when I pressed send. The message went out to everyone she held dear. Her mother, her father, her younger sister, who idolized her, her best friends, the group chat of mutual friends we had known for years. The message was simple. "Thought you all should know who Vanessa really is. Here's proof." Attached were screenshots of her texts with Landon. Explicit, degrading, undeniable. I imagined the slow horror spreading across their faces as they read them. The growing realization that Vanessa wasn't the person they thought she was. Within minutes, my phone started buzzing. Messages, calls. Some were from people furious on my behalf. Some just couldn't believe it. Then came a call from Vanessa. I let it ring. I wasn't ready to talk to her. Not yet. She needed to sit in her own destruction for a little while longer. By the time Vanessa stumbled home the next morning, she looked like a ghost of herself. Her makeup was smudged, her hair disheveled, and her eyes swollen from crying. "Damien," she whispered, stepping inside cautiously. "Please, let's talk." I sat on the couch, sipping my coffee, completely calm. "Talk? About what?" Her bottom lip trembled. I made a mistake." I let out a small chuckle. "Which part? The months of lying? The hotel room? Or the fact that everyone now knows who you really are?" Tears spilled down her cheeks. "You humiliated me. You humiliated yourself." She took a shaky breath, stepping forward. "I still love you. I want to fix this." I raised an eyebrow. "Fix it?" "Vanessa, this isn't some minor mistake. You didn't trip and fall into another man's bed. You made a choice." Her voice cracked. "But we have a life together. A family. Our savings." I cut her off with a slow smirk. "Oh, about that." She frowned. I reached into my pocket, pulled out a small piece of paper, and placed it on the table. Her eyes flickered with confusion as she picked it up and read it. It was a bank statement. A bank statement showing that our joint account was now empty. Her face drained of color. What is this?" "Everything you thought you had," I said smoothly, "is gone." Her breath hitched. "You took all the money." I nodded. "It was never just yours. And since you wanted your freedom so badly, I figured you wouldn't need my financial support anymore." She shook her head, panic setting in. "Damien, please. I don't have access to my personal account right now. I used the joint one for everything. Not my problem." She was unraveling now, hands shaking, chest rising and falling too quickly. How am I supposed to pay rent? Bills? What about the house?" I leaned back. "That's your problem to figure out." Her voice turned desperate. "You can't just throw me out." I tilted my head. "Why not? You threw away our marriage. You threw me away. Why shouldn't I return the favor?" She was sobbing now. "Damien, please. Don't do this." I stood up, towering over her. "I already have." And with that, I walked away. Vanessa wasn't the only one who needed to pay. Landon needed to be ruined. It didn't take much to find out where he worked. He was an up-and-coming executive at a high-profile firm, a man with a reputation to uphold, a man who would lose everything if the right people found out what he had been doing. I drafted an email. To HR department. Subject: concerning employee conduct. I attached every single explicit message he had sent Vanessa, every disgusting promise, every text where he mocked me, laughed at my ignorance. Then I hit send. By the next morning, Landon was fired. Vanessa tried to call me again. I let it ring. By the end of the week, Vanessa was a wreck. She had lost everything. Her money, her reputation, her lover's job. She showed up on my doorstep, looking like she hadn't slept in days. "Damien, please. Just talk to me." I sighed. "Why should I?" Her hands clenched. "Because I need you." I smirked. "You needed Landon too. Look where that got you." She wiped at her eyes. "I don't love him. I never did. It was just a mistake. I lost control." I held up a hand. "Stop. You made choices. You chose him. And now, you live with the consequences." A broken sob escaped her lips. "I can't do this without you." I took a slow step forward, tilting her chin up so she had to look at me. "Funny," I murmured. "That's exactly how I felt when you were in that hotel room." Then I closed the door in her face. She screamed in frustration, pounding against the door. I didn't care. She could beg all she wanted. I wasn't done with her yet. Vanessa's fists pounded against my door long after I shut it in her face. Her sobs turned to frustrated screams, but I didn't open it. Not yet. I stood there, letting her cry, letting her break. She had shattered my world without a second thought. Now, she was getting a taste of her own destruction. Eventually, the pounding stopped. I peeked through the window, watching her crumble onto my front porch, her hands clutching her hair. I could have ended it here. I could have let her leave with nothing but regrets. But I wasn't done yet. I wanted her to feel everything I'd felt. I wanted her to beg. And so, I cracked the door open just enough. Vanessa. Her head shot up, her eyes red and swollen. Damien, please. I leaned against the frame, my expression unreadable. Are you ready to listen? She nodded frantically. Then get inside. She scrambled to her feet, stepping inside like a prisoner walking in her own sentencing. Good. That's exactly what she was. I led Vanessa into the living room and gestured for her to sit. She perched on the edge of the couch, watching me like a kicked dog. You have 5 minutes, I said coldly. Convince me why I shouldn't throw you out again. She swallowed hard. Damien, I made a terrible mistake. That's not convincing. She trembled. I didn't know what I was doing. I got caught up in something stupid. I lost sight of what really mattered. I tilted my head. And what exactly is that? She blinked rapidly. Us. Our family. You. I laughed. A dry, humorless sound. You realized that after your little boyfriend got fired. Her lips parted, but no words came out. I smirked. That's what I thought. She dropped her head, shame rolling off her in waves. I don't expect you to forgive me, she whispered. I don't know what to do. I have nowhere to go. And there it was. Her desperation. She wasn't here because she regretted hurting me. She was here because she was alone. She thought she could use me again. I leaned down, gripping her chin and forcing her to look at me. Vanessa, I murmured. You didn't lose sight of what mattered. You threw it away. A single tear slipped down her cheek. Please, Damien. I need you. My grip tightened. No, you need help, but you won't get it from me. Then I pulled away, standing tall. Get out. She gasped. No, please. I'll do anything. Anything? That gave me an idea. I smiled. Anything. She nodded quickly. Yes, whatever you want. I stepped closer, dropping my voice to a near whisper. Then I want you to hurt the way I did. Her breath hitched. You think you lost everything, Vanessa? I smirked. You haven't even begun to suffer. And just like that, the next phase of my plan began. I gave Vanessa false hope. I let her believe that if she worked hard enough, showed enough remorse, she could win me back. She clung to that hope like a lifeline. She started cooking me dinner. She cleaned the house as if it would erase her sins. She begged to sleep in our bed again. I let her do all of it. I let her believe she had a chance. But I had no intention of taking her back. I was simply setting her up for the biggest fall of her life. It took a week. A week of watching Vanessa try to please me. A week of her swallowing her pride, her desperation growing with every passing day. Then, I delivered my final blow. One night, as she set the table for dinner, I placed my phone in front of her. The screen showed a video of Landon. Her eyes flicked to me, confused. What's this? I smiled. Just press play. She hesitated, but did as I said. The moment the video started, her face drained of color. It was Landon, on his knees, begging another woman not to leave him. Another woman. Her breath came out in a sharp, wounded gasp. No. Landon was crying, pleading, cheating on her the same way he had cheated with her. Vanessa's hands shook as she paused the video, looking up at me with horror in her eyes. You set this up, she whispered. I leaned back in my chair, completely relaxed. I simply let him be the man he always was. Tears streamed down her face. She had destroyed our marriage for him, and he had thrown her away just as easily. Now, she had nothing. No husband, no lover, no respect, no money. She had gambled everything, and she had lost. Vanessa didn't eat that night. She didn't sleep. She just sat there, staring at the floor, her hands trembling. I had broken her, and yet I wasn't satisfied. She needed to feel true pain. So, the next morning, I did the one thing she never expected. I filed for divorce. Vanessa woke up to the sound of a knock at the door. She opened it to find a legal courier. You've been served, he said, handing her an envelope. She ripped it open, her breath catching as she read the words. Petition for dissolution of marriage. Her legs gave out, and she collapsed onto the floor. She had hoped, prayed that I would forgive her, that we could rebuild. But now, there was no doubt. She was alone, and there was no coming back from this. That night, she sat across from me at the kitchen table, her hands gripping the divorce papers. Damien, she choked out. I love you. I stared at her, my face unreadable. Love, I echoed. You don't even know what that word means. Her lips trembled. Please, give me one more chance. I leaned forward. Vanessa, I gave you everything, and you threw it away for a man who never wanted you. She sobbed. I was wrong. I smirked. Yes, you were. Then I stood up, signed the papers, Vanessa. She let out a broken sob, clutching them to her chest. I hate myself, she whispered. I smiled. Good. The day of our divorce settlement was bitterly cold, as if even the universe wanted to freeze Vanessa in place, reminding her of the emptiness she had created. I arrived at the courthouse early, dressed in a tailored suit, my expression composed, my steps measured. I had nothing to fear, nothing to lose. But Vanessa? She walked in moments later, her once radiant confidence reduced to a frail, fragile presence. Her once perfectly styled hair was dull, her eyes hollow, her hands unsteady as she clutched the divorce papers. She sat across from me at the negotiation table, biting her lower lip, her breathing uneven. The lawyer began listing the division of assets, a process she once thought she would control. But now, she was at the mercy of my generosity, and I had none left for her. As per the terms, the lawyer droned on, flipping through documents. The primary residence will remain in Damien's possession, along with all investment accounts. Vanessa flinched. Her lips parted, but no words came out. She had assumed that, at the very least, she'd keep the house. She was wrong. She looked at me, desperate. But where will I go? I shrugged. Not my problem. Tears welled in her eyes. Damien, please, Next. I interrupted, my voice cool, signaling that I did not care. The lawyer continued. All shared assets, vehicles, bank accounts, savings, will be awarded to Damien. Vanessa let out a broken gasp. You're leaving me with nothing? I finally looked up at her. You did that to yourself. Her body trembled. I was your wife, Damien. I tilted my head. You were his mistress first. Her breath hitched. The words sliced through her, leaving her speechless. The lawyer cleared his throat, awkwardly proceeding. In regard to spousal support. I leaned forward, smirking. She gets nothing. Vanessa shot up from her chair. Damien, that's unfair. You can't just cut me off like I meant nothing to you. I arched a brow. I meant nothing to you when you were in a hotel bed with Landon. So, tell me, Vanessa, why should I be the one to save you now? She collapsed back in her seat, covering her face with her hands. She had no one left to turn to. Her parents had disowned her after learning about the affair. Her friends had abandoned her, disgusted by what she had done. Landon? He had moved on, with someone else. Vanessa had placed all her bets on a future that didn't exist. Now, she was left with nothing. I stood, signing the last document with ease. Vanessa, however, struggled to grip the pen. Her hands trembled as she pressed the tip to the paper, a single tear landing beside her signature. The moment she lifted the pen, it was over. I smirked, straightening my tie. Congratulations, Vanessa. You're free now. She stared at me, horrified. She had fought for her freedom, believing she could have it all. Now, she had to live with it, and she hated every second of it. I turned, ready to leave. But as I reached the door, her voice came, small, broken. Damien. I paused, but I didn't turn back. She took a shaky breath. Do you think you could ever love me again? I exhaled slowly, letting her question linger in the air. Then, I spoke the final words she would ever hear from me. No, Vanessa, you killed that part of me. And without another look, I walked out of her life forever. But I wasn't done yet, because Vanessa still had one last lesson to learn. Divorce was supposed to be the end of it, but I knew Vanessa too well. She wasn't just mourning our marriage. She was mourning the life she lost. And deep down, she believed that if she suffered long enough, I might come back to her. She was wrong. So I made sure she saw the one thing that would finally break her. Me moving on. Vanessa had nowhere to go, so she stayed in a rundown apartment complex. I knew she kept tabs on me. She scrolled through social media, looking for any sign of my life. And I made sure she saw exactly what she feared most. I started dating again. It wasn't just any woman. It was someone better than her. Stronger, wiser, loyal. I posted pictures, dinners, vacations, quiet moments. Everything Vanessa had thrown away, I had given to someone else. And it destroyed her. She called. I ignored her. She texted. I blocked her. She even showed up at my office once. Damien, she whispered, looking desperate. I just need to talk to you. I smirked, stepping closer. You had years to talk to me, Vanessa, I murmured. But you used that time to cheat instead. Her breath shuddered. I was stupid. I chuckled. That's an understatement. Her eyes flicked to my suit, my confidence, the life I had rebuilt. Is there really no chance for us? I stared at her for a long moment. Then I smiled. Not even in another lifetime. Her face crumpled. That was it. The final nail in her coffin. She had gambled. She had lost. And I had won. I turned, walking away. Vanessa was finally nothing more than a memory. Years passed. I married again. Had a family. Built a legacy. And Vanessa? She never recovered. She never found love again. She had become exactly what she never wanted to be. Alone. Forgotten. And filled with regret. Once upon a time, she thought she could have everything. But in the end, she lost it all. And I never looked back. Because the greatest revenge wasn't ruining her life. It was living mine without her.